rolling.
Yeah. What's going on now? Social Style Podcast. It's your man, Uber Guy. What's up, JD?
What's good with you, my brother? What's on the menu for today?
Oh man, I think the menu for today, man, it's a lot of tasty stuff going on out here in society. A lot of things worth, digging into. I think today we're gonna get into the impact of this coronavirus on the fashion industry, not only in a stylist perspective, but also as far as, with me being a barber and getting into it hygienically too, just the different things of, what's going to have to go on or what may go on, with everything now because, these industries are so closely related, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Now, that's a good place to start, man. Me, myself, as a designer, a manufacturer of products, man, it's definitely been affecting the industry in many different ways. And I did a little research myself on it, and it's definitely some news to talk about.
Right.
I mean, I want to start myself and just basically start, who exactly is it affected? I like to start that question of the day. So it's basically affecting companies, brands that we might be familiar with, some that we're not familiar with. It goes all the way through the chain supply, actually. We're starting from the factory down to the material supplier, all the way to, the retail store, all the way to the consumer's hand. So it's a snowball effect that, basically affects everybody in the fashion and, beauty industry, because once, let's just start here. If a lot of products are made outside this country, places like China particularly, the U.S. has cut off all unnecessary products coming into the country. So right there, we have a shortage of supplies coming into the country. Take a pause for the cause.
This show is sponsored by Master Barber and National Educator Hubert Guy. For more information, contact HubertGuy_INC.
Now we got factories where people work, which is considered closed-in spaces, which people can get sick. So you got workers, operators for the machinery that's sewing the products together, scared to come into work, or some might even get sick and don't at all come into work. So now you short manufacturing a way to produce the products. So now you got a problem there. Now, once the product actually does get made and produced, you need places for it to go, retail outlets. But if there is a stay-at-home order, which means people can't open up their stores for retails to receive the goods, then there's no need. Just go back to the beginning, and then there's no need to even manufacture goods at all because there's no place for them to be received or go to at the end of the chain supply. So, I mean, it's a big problem. And that goes for every industry. I don't care if it's the hair industry, the makeup industry, the nail industry, the eyelash industry. It all coincides together. And at the end of the day, it affects everybody on that chain supply. That's my take.
As far as, on the stylist side, as you was talking, is so forth as, getting fabrics and so forth to manufacture people clothing and, the different shows and stuff that go on. This is a very in close proximity industry. And, it has had an effect on, even me, because, I told you my boy, Nehemiah, shout out to my boy Nehemiah Wallace, Brandon Bespoke, some of the stuff that I had ordered from him from a few months ago, it took like an extra month and a half to get here, because of all the, the shutdown and the travel sanctions. And then, you still never know who has came into contact, with that clothing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's very, right now is a time of where you have to exercise extreme precaution with a lot of, with Fashion Week and everything supposed to happen and going on, and a lot of these spring shows, it's a lot of up and coming, new coming designers that was supposed to be, coming out this year, that's affecting too,
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. Due to what's going on with the pandemic and so forth, and designers having these styles and these shows being canceled, and this season is supposed to be in one of the lucrative resort or cruise seasons, so they call it in the fashion industry. How do you think this is going to affect those designers? Do you think that they're going to keep those designs and try to release them at a later date, or you think they're going to try to reconstruct them, or what? What do you think about that?
We'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by isolifeny.co. Well, listen, I think every designer has a different, perspective on how they're going to approach each season and situation. That's a good question. I mean, sometimes some designers can take that line and hold it for another season, or even just revamp what they have. It depends on, what it's going to take to do that at the end of the day. Now, if myself as a designer, the company owner, I took the season off. So what I want to do is sit back and reevaluate where it's going to be and adjust my game plan according to the seasons that are coming up and what I need to do to adjust into the economic situation as well as the practical situation. Because a lot of things are going to be practical that we thought were in the past. Now in the future, it's a whole nother practicality. So, where we might think, jean suits or leather outfits were cool. Now it might be about, nylon or, plastic hazmat suits, custom, masks and, taking those ideas to a different level and innovation and just make it fashionable now, so there's a lot of different ways to approach everything, and every designer has their own, perspective on how they're going to do it. I will say this, let's take a time out.
Miss going to the gym and need some motivation? Contact me, Marcy of Marcy the Trainer. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook.
See, right now in the industry, the shift. You got companies that were, whatever, leather jacket companies now making masks. You got, traditional suit companies now making masks, and you got, sneaker companies making masks. So I think everybody is adapted to the necessity that's going on right now, which is a good thing, and we'll just keep innovating those designs and making them more fashionable as the time goes on, according to whatever the situation needs at that time. And now the question is, how do retail stores adapt to the situation? Because now they have seasonal products that's been there for like 2 months that they weren't able to sell. So what happens to those? I know there's huge sales that are going to go on, which is always beneficial. But if it's not beneficial to the season that we're in, then what are we going to do? So nobody wants to get stuck with clothes they don't need at that moment. So now you got clothes from last season. What are they going to do? Hold them for the season going forward next year?
Well,
but
if I could find me some dope shit, you know what I'm saying, and put it in my closet for next season.
right. Now, but is that what you want to see?
I understand.
Here's the question, though. The problem is the consumer is not going to think like that, because at the end of the day, is that a necessity? Right now, we're thinking necessity. What is it that I really need? Do I really need to stock clothes for next season? No, I don't think so. What I need to do is stock some meats, some toilet paper, and things of that sort. And I worry about how the season fares next year, because I might not need sweaters. I might need to buy, more ventilators and face masks. So that all of this is affecting consumer spending, consumer confidence, because bottom line is products are are bought based on confidence, where we are economically, and right now we're not economically in a good place. So
Right.
clothes, unless they are the necessity that you need, like luxury will not be a necessity. You don't need a Louis Vuitton bag, but you might need a survival kit.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You might not need some Louboutins, but you might need you some Timberlands.
Right.
So
Right.
here's the thing. Different brands will do better than other brands during this period, depending on what you offer the consumer at that time. That makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I mean,
Right.
because uh, with something like this happening, and brands, they got to recognize what the consumer is really looking for right now at this moment, and not at this moment, but like you said, looking forward to what the consumer may want or need in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like with
Mm-hmm.
this stuff going on, it's been a lot of breakthroughs and a lot of things that was never done before, like teleeducation and teledoctor's
Exactly.
appointments and and all of these different businesses and people going over to Instagram or social media over the internet. You know what I'm saying? So everything changes the market. This pandemic has actually changed the market and probably
What?
strengthened it, for the better
Well, it
for the future to
depends.
come.
What depends, like, okay, like they say, from every situation, new situations come abroad, so,
Mm-hmm.
where brick and mortar at one time was the best thing to go and enjoy a shopping experience. Now we're going to go into virtual shopping. The experience will be virtual online. I remember I'm gonna have to say almost 10 years ago, a guy came to me and he had a brilliant idea for doing virtual shopping online. You
Mm-hmm.
actually became the character. You went through the escalator in the mall, and you went into, you could see Nike, Adidas, whatever, and you basically could go and open the door and you go into the mall like a video game, and you see the different sneakers, and you see them, you could put them on your character, try it on, see how it's going to look, and you can purchase
Mm-hmm.
the sneakers or the product right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think it should be going to. And that was this kid showed me this almost 10 years ago and was trying to sell that idea, but it was way ahead of his time.
Right.
Now we're forced into a new situation where we have to shop online now. It's more convenient. It's going to save time, and you don't have to be around people. You can have your distance and the product comes right to your doorstep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be in the age of virtual shopping now, click and shop, which, it was there before. We're also going to eliminate the ability to use paper money. It's going to all be, digital money, which will, one, transfer faster into people's accounts, the business owners' accounts, which a lot of people love that. You can have your money
Mm-hmm.
right in your bank account, no deposits. You don't walk to the bank, worry about getting robbed. All the money straight to the bank, and that's always a good thing as well. So, like I said, it's about the fashion business will survive. It just has to adjust. And that's
Right.
what I think what we have to worry about right now, adjusting. And that's one part of it. I want to take a commercial break and it will come right back. Today's style segment, how to wear a suit jacket, whether 2-button or 3. Always button the top on a 2-button jacket, and on a 3-button jacket, only close the middle button. It makes for a more comfortable fit, whether sitting or standing. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. We're back.
Come out of this in a positive manner.
Oh, that's a good question right there. Because it's hard to revamp a line once you put it out there. That's a lot of money wasted down. What is going on really right now in the industry? They're trying to give people bailout loans to help these companies try to revamp their businesses during this time, because they know a lot of people lost money. Employees weren't able to work, so products didn't get finished, and things didn't hit the shelves, and there's a lot of backed up, inventory right now. So, I mean, the best way to do is liquidate products, start all over, and basically, hit the market fresh with what the market needs at the moment.
Take a pause for the
This show is
cause.
sponsored by actor, host, and comedian Hubert Guy. If you are looking for a proven professional to host your next event, reach out to Hubert Guy for excellence in entertainment. For more information, contact Hubert Guy _INC. You know what? But I want to get into it as far as, with myself being a master barber and the head master barber for Locus 798 Makeup and Hairstylist Union here in New York City. Even before I was that, and I was just a master barber. Even before then, I've always been very big on public health and sanitation. Even
Right.
coming up as a little kid, I've always, was always, concerned about, hygiene and so forth. So this is really gonna, I'm interested to see what type of different regulations that, New York State is actually gonna put into place, requiring, maybe they're gonna require more masks, a mask for each. The barber or the stylist will now maybe have to wear a mask. It's gonna be a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people ain't gonna, want to go along with that shoot. Some dudes don't even like to wear barber jackets, let alone a mask all day. You know what I'm
And
saying?
gloves. And gloves.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to be sanitary. And here's the thing: 6 feet distance. So that means you can't have a packed barbershop either, or hair salon, or nail salon.
I don't. I think by the time that they open it up, I think that social distancing rules will be a little bit more lenient because they got to understand, like, shit, it's gonna be motherfuckers, packed waiting to get into barbershops and salons and nail salons. So they definitely not gonna, open up until the restrictions are, a little bit lighter. I actually wonder how it's going down in Atlanta right now, down in Georgia and.
Yeah, I'm interested. Well,
Colorado.
that's interesting because I should have had my cousin, who's a barber, actually chime in to give us that, which it could be an interesting situation. You know what I mean?
I definitely like to see how it's going down. And here we got my man Ryder Barber from down in Atlanta, originally from New York City, though.
Yes.
And what we was talking to Rob about, and what I want him to elaborate more on with this, we're speaking on the beauty industry now down in Atlanta with it being back open. Tell me some of the ways how you feel this pandemic is going to impact regulations, and as far as how barbershops have to go about operating now.
Yeah, well, I believe that the state board and the new rules are going to come. Like, I don't know if they're going to make it start mandatory that you have to wear a mask or a glove. I'm not sure about that yet. I've seen some barbers doing it. I've seen not. One thing I do know is those masks, they collect hair real fast.
Oh, yeah.
They collect hair real fast, and once they collect hair, it's almost useless. That's the only drawback of wearing it. Maybe they have to come up with a new type of material. This is just this is going to affect a lot of industries, but specifically my industry, because the barbershop, in my opinion, is one of the only places that a person can come and kind of have an unfiltered conversation. Stuff you can't talk about at your regular job, stuff you can't talk about in your church, stuff you can't talk about, in court. There's a lot of places where you got to kind of censor yourself. The barbershop's one of the most uncensored environments.
You can talk about anything in a barbershop.
Right.
And social distancing is going to definitely affect the vibe of the shop. I've been speaking to a few barbers, and they said it was real slow yesterday. Like I said, I haven't returned to the shop yet. I work in the mall, but I've rolled by some shops. Some of them are doing all right. Some of them aren't. A lot of barbers are cutting from home, doing house calls. Like I said, a lot of barbers aren't even cutting hair right now. They're working at Walmart, just trying to,
Yeah. Right. So here's the thing. going into the chain supply part of it. So now we're talking about buying a lot more alcohol, a lot more, sanitary products, which is going to drive that business up a lot more. Again, the cost of goods, demand.
Raise the price of alcohol.
Got to raise the price. This is a good time to raise the price because,
They already did. They raised the price of alcohol and disinfectants. What I'm saying, like if you go into a store, it might cost $5 for a bottle of hand sanitizer.
Right.
I'm talking about right now for barbers. It's a good time for them to raise their prices too.
Exactly. Well, that's what I said. It's all part of the chain supply.
But then I got clients that have been coming to me for 4 years that just lost their job.
What are you gonna do?
I want to raise the price, but damn, this dude been supporting me for 4 years, and now he's out of work. So it's a fine line.
Clients like that, you wait till they get back on their feet, and then they understand. They know that in client. All them new clients, you hit them with that new price.
That's what we do. All the new clients, that's what we're doing. And it's like all the older ones, we working with them because I had a girl come to me yesterday. Honestly, she said, "I'm broke, bro. I don't got nothing." I mean, there's people suffering behind this, and they're embarrassed. Some people haven't got haircuts in a couple months just because they ain't been working. So I've been hearing so many unique situations, and like I said, it's affecting people. Even your self-esteem. We don't have a haircut for a little while.
You gotta have that cut.
It lowers your vibration a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that affects everything. That affects your ability to go out and work, make money.
Make money, get a job. Because if you don't look presentable,
or your self-confidence alone. Self-confidence affects part of the chain supply. At the end of the day, you got no workers, so they don't feel confident. They can't get out there, feel strong enough to get in the workforce. So you got a lack of employees that can make the chain supply move, right? Because you need to buy alcohol, cleaning supplies, sanitary supplies to treat your customers, but it can't get to the stores. Then that raises the price too, because you got nobody to unpack it. They can't get jobs. Let's think about all of that. All of this is being interrupting the chain supply, at all levels in all industries. You know what I mean?
There's people struggling out there. It's people really, really like hurt, like bad, like and what is bad.
I'll say this. It's the biggest interruption we've ever had in national history, honestly. And people are hurt, and some people aren't. It's like it's half and half. It's like how people get through the trials and tribulations with a smile on their face. You might not see what they're going through. I mean, I've been generally the attitude in Atlanta. Atlanta's a happy place, so people are still kind of in a good mood. They just want to get back to work. But I'm telling you, financially, it's definitely affected a lot of industry. Some people are still working, so the ones that are working, they're kind of, like essential workers, the Walmart, and the hospital. But a lot of other industries have been affected. Like I told you, that's the main. I think that's going to be another thing that people aren't even thinking about because we're so worried about, the health aspect of it. People have mortgages that behind, light bills, phone bills, and hopefully, I think the governor said he's going to do some. They have some kind of program in place that they're not going to be evicting anybody for 2 months. And, they're going to be working with people.
They have that here in New York.
Okay, I think they have to because that will create another situation.
Well, they're trying to, but here, nevertheless, that money ain't going away, and it's still going to be there if you don't pay it. And eventually, when they do open the courts up, if you so far behind, what's going to happen then?
Hey, pay your bills. That's all I've been doing is paying bills, man. That's it.
Oh, we can do.
You gotta pay them if you can, and if you need to do something, work a payment plan out with your landlord or whatever, so that way you don't go too far behind. I think that's what they're doing now. Like they're taking half off for certain people. You can actually go in there and work a payment plan out.
They got to because there's no choice in the matter. They can't take you to court anyway, so they might as well work with you.
Right,
so makes sense.
Don't just ignore them. Try to work with them that way. When it does get back to normal, you won't have a big bill. You might have a small bill that you can kind of knock down.
Right. I agree. So with that all said, I think, we got a good little perspective on what's going on in Atlanta for all the New Yorkers, people outside of New York, outside of Atlanta, and coming from the industry and the beauty particularly. And I'm still like to get a little take on how the fashion industry is actually affected out there in Atlanta.
Very
Hold
big.
that thought. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna interrupt that.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
that
Go
was
ahead.
pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, number one, you know, New York is the fashion mecca. Atlanta kind of copies New York, so like the style is a little different from New York, but they kind of
Yeah.
copy New York. You can tell the difference, but in other words, Atlanta's the New York of the South.
Right, right.
People look to New York for fashion, but outside New York, when they come to the South, they kind of look to Atlanta for fashion. Why? Because a lot of New Yorkers are here, a lot of people
Right.
from Cali are here, so you know it's a little more fashionable than other parts of the South. And man, the malls are closed, so people aren't getting fly
Right.
like they used to be. You know, my homegirl that works in a retail store, she hasn't been out of work for about 2 months. Jimmy Jazz, you know, all those stores like that, Foot Locker, Foot Action,
Right.
whatever, DTLR, any of the little stores, they're all closed right now.
Right. And I wonder what's well, of course, now everybody's just ordering online now. So what's going to happen to the future of this? Is it going to cause a lot of retail stores to close out there?
I'm wondering because just like that's what makes me wonder about this pandemic, man, because it seems like they're really trying to shut down small businesses and turn America into some kind of communist socialist where we can only deal with the big companies. Because if this continues, I don't know how small businesses are going to survive.
Well, that'll eliminate the fact of the small dollar. It'll be easier to just switch up everything over to electronic money if you get rid of the small mom and pop shops. You get what I'm saying? They're the ones that usually do a lot of dollar to dollar transactions versus electronic.
And then if that happens, I'm wondering how cyber crimes and internet crimes would go up because
of course, but they've already been working on putting people in place to combat cyber crimes. They just have to keep evolving as they get sophisticated.
Yeah, because you got to think of like this. It's that to eliminate cash altogether. I don't know if it's going to happen right away, but eventually it could happen. And that's another situation that would affect barbers because let's be honest, 80% of the barbers don't pay taxes and they're off the books.
Right, facts.
I'm just being real with you, bro.
That's a lot right there going on.
That stimulus money, a lot of barbers and beauticians aren't even really looking forward to it because if you didn't file your taxes, you're not going to get no stimulus package. So it's really affecting a lot of barbers because now if you're off the books and then you're not getting no stimulus check and you're out of work, you know what I mean? It's a lot going on with that.
So did they get a chance to file unemployment though? Could
some
they file
of them
unemployment?
Did. Like I said, some of barbers can, some can't. Like I said, most of the barbers are off the books. So if you've been off the books, then you tell them that you've been working. And God's like, well, I thought you weren't working. You know, so it put a lot of barbers in a position. A lot of the owners are good, but the workers, a lot of the workers, like I said, they've been winging it. Barber and the beautician industries are kind of under. You know, everybody kind of, it's kind of a hustle. So a lot of barbers don't report what they actually make. You know, a barber might make $100,000 a year. He might report 25. You know, so that's the only thing.
With all of that said, actually we could break, and I want to just thank my personal family member, Rada Barber, for tuning in and helping us get a little perspective on what's going on in the beauty and fashion industry out in Atlanta. Thank you, my brother, for tuning in to the show, and it's your perspective.
Appreciate it, Rod.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. Everybody in New York, y'all be good, man. And y'all keep me updated on what's going on up there.
Facts. Peace.
Copy that. This segment right here is going to be for guys with beards. I know a lot of guys have been growing their beard, haven't been able to get it groomed like they've wanted to. This is the thing with this time right now. What you need to be doing with your beard is really just letting it grow. You need to be if you don't wash your beard, you need to wash your beard on the regular, just like it's hair on your head, because it's hair on your face. Because what a lot of guys don't understand is if you don't condition and take care of that beard really good, you still have skin underneath there. So you don't want that skin to be rough or irritated if you ever decide to shave your beard off your face. But right now, what you need to be doing to just keep your beard nice and groomed and a little manageable is just, like I said, washing it, conditioning it every 2 to 3 days. And then when you get it out of the shower, blow dry it. Blow dry it so that it straightens out. It's not going to be thick and curling up and irritable. Blow it out. It's going to feel lighter. It's going to feel fluffier. It's going to give you more of volume. And then you can either just take some regular carrot oil or some vitamin E oil, which both have protein in them, and just put a little of that oil in your beard. You don't really need nothing heavy in your beard, especially right now, because we're not really going places. You're not, keeping it in shape for anybody. You know what I'm saying? You're just letting it grow out. One of these is one of those times right now where you can let that beard really, really heal itself. This is a time for healing right now. So our bodies, it has to do the same. But that's what I recommend during these times, guys with beards. Just go ahead, continue to wash and condition it every 2 to 3 days, just like it's regular hair on your head. Really get in there, really get that skin. Use some carrot oil or some vitamin E oil. Some people use olive oil, or it's a variety of light oils that you can use. I always say carrot oil or vitamin E oil because they're both kind of light, and I like that. Put it in your beard. It's going to give you a nice sheen. And really, the thing is to massage it into your skin because you want your skin to be nice and smooth too. All right, fellas. So let's take care of ourselves during this time. You see me scruffing out. I got my comb and I can, I know this beard ain't nothing compared to some people's, but this is a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just maintaining it, and those are some different tips that you can do to maintain your beard during this time. And I'm your boy, Uber Guy, Master Barber and Educator, Handsome Good Grooming. See you next time.
My brother, appreciate that, buddy. Thanks again for tuning in to the Social Style Podcast, and we'll see you next time. We'd like to thank you once again for tuning in to the Social Style Podcast. We can be reached at socialstylepc@gmail.com.